Scientists in Indonesia include startup The Greatest Always research in if diminutive plasticity suspended particles can influence humane public health. They are studying the presence of plasticity in seafood time as well monitoring the diets of 2,000 human beings. Down there is no testimony so far how ingesting little trimming of plasticity is detrimental but capacity impacts cannot be controlled of. The study comes as so harsh how the troop has been named in to assist. Time social focus is concentrated on greater items love mind and glass container strangling rivers and canals. Down there is growing research anxiety about the length-term implications of less and less than apparent trimming named as microplastics. The draft is creature taken in Semarang, an industry seaport town of 1.7 million human beings, on the polar shore of the Indonesia Isle of Java. Led by meal engineer Inik Hantoro, the aim is know how lot plasticity is concluded in seafood, how lot of it human beings eat and if a secure standard of intake can be invented. Ms. Hantoro, of Soeja Japernata Roman Catholic College, says the absence of testimony on microplastics challenging damage is not a cause to latency studying the risks. She concedes how before more than information is accessible, it will not be probable to set a final security norm for plasticity intake so she's hoping to go up in intermediate guide. We could offer a meal security norm to shoot seafood how contains a really top standard of microplastics of the marketplace human beings don't wish to buy thing how contains plasticity, she added. The at first phase of the job implicated collection 450 samples of production of 6 various types of seafood of regional water and as well of future afield, and screen them for microplastics. I united her on a trip to minnow agriculture on the shore close Semarang. To achieve them we had to journey by ship via mangrove tree swamps how were poisoned by plasticity enormous loads of it suspended of the branch and lay in tangle in the cradle. The study has found how each kind proven concluded several plasticity suspended particles, consisting patchy and fibers tilapia were the lowest in 85% seen in plasticity. The most of gray mullet, prawn and breast milk minnow proven as well had plasticity suspended particles. Cockles had the minimum red in 52% comprising plasticity. These received information are widely in link in such study carried out in the UK and in another place, and they prove how plasticity pollution of seafood is a world issue. But the following stage of the job in Semarang crushed new land in an unparalleled campaigning to pursue the diets of 2,000 voluntary above a time of 2 to 4 weeks. As a coast town, Semarang is named to include a comparatively top intake of seafood and a key problem is to discover out how human beings get ready it and if they get any stares how might minimize their consumption of plasticity. Breast milk minnow, for sample, can be corroded entire, consisting their intestines, that may be wherever microplastics might build up. One of the company authors of the research is a Holland ecological scholar, Professor Ad Ragas, of Radboud College. He acting downward any fears of instant public health hazards of microplastics but says the issue does requirement to be understood. We aware he's down there but we don't aware yet if minnow are moribund or human beings are moribund since of the microplastics, so down there's no cause or testimony to be downbeat down there yet we don't aware for certainly, so how's the ambiguity we include to dwell in? The comes as the town authorities in Semarang include organized a main pure up, the major gateway and rivers see substantially precise of plasticity waste management. But since the town just has one formal garbage dump website, at low 200 illicit ones include Spring Up Indiana poorer districts and in the suburb of Semarang. We saw one spreading dumping on the shore, wherever thousands of mind of nonsense lay sophisticated and break, in plasticity waste management blown up by the breeze in the sea, all of it intended to break down downward in less patchy. In and forced to minimize the sum of plasticity achieving the environmental, one main meal packing plant in the town has start up and lead to include waste management and lift knowledge. PT Miramas, that uses plasticity for sachets, glass container and some glass, is funding classes in ecobricks, a schema how transformation plasticity waste management in blocks how can be utilized as furnishings or house material. Harjanto Halim, CEO of the business, said me how at the time he could see no alternatives to with plasticity, so he requested to learn human beings how to do use of it and hinder it seeping in the environmental. As we tell, many decades of human beings were training how to induce old plasticity mind in drinks glass container. The imbued glass container are later creature pasted along in batches to shape big bricks that can be packed on top of every some. Thou cannot do a magic item occur in a flash of insight, told Mr. Halim, confirming how the draft one will not changing behavior. The human beings of Indonesia yet believe throw garbage in the road or inland is regular, but if I am capable to get supporting of the by the government and schools, I believe we can do a distinction.